Assalamu alaikum, and welcome to another edition of MLFA Promises, Stories of Success. Today's journey begins August 6th, 1990, just 4 days after Saddam Hussein's invasion of Kuwait, when the UN Security Council placed sanctions on Iraq, and it became even more severe after the Gulf War ended in 1991. Now, these economic sanctions started to cause severe suffering for the civilian population of Iraq, especially the children. And over the years, this suffering continued to escalate from 91, 92, 93, until it reached its zenith in 2001 and 2002, when the entire world was talking about the alleged 500,000 children or babies dying in Iraq due to these economic sanctions. So it was a really tough time. Hearts and minds around the world were concerned about this issue. Well, back here in the United States, an Iraqi American Muslim, a brother named Muthana Hanooti, was living in Detroit, Michigan. And he decided to organize a controversial U.S. congressional trip to Baghdad in 2002. Now, there was controversy because there were sanctions going on, but there was so much concern. He said, why don't we just go over there and see firsthand the plight of the children under these economic sanctions? And, you know, if he could get other people to go, then they could actually see if this was real or propaganda or if it was really happening. So Congressman Jim McDermott of Washington, Mike Thompson of California, David Bonnier of Michigan, they all decided to go with Muthana on this congressional trip. And once they got over there and they saw what happened and they actually came back to America, the trip really changed, you know, their attitudes. They verified a lot of things that were going on. And shortly thereafter, the sanctions and their attitudes started to shift, and it eventually led to the lifting of the sanctions. So ironically, instead of thanking Muthana for his time and his efforts and service to humanity, in 2008, the Department of Justice indicted Muthana. They indicted him for acting as an agent of a foreign government without a license. They charged him with violating sanctions with Iraq and making a false statement. Let that sink in. It turns out that Muthana had previously worked with a charity in Detroit called Life for Relief and Development, which is the largest domestic Muslim charity in America. Now, he had been a PR coordinator. Now, Life for Relief and Development was founded in 1992 by a group of individuals who were all men, and they referred to themselves as Iraqi American professionals. So it was all Iraqis who founded the organization called Life for Relief and Development. And Life grew to be the largest Muslim charity in America, domestic charity. So due to the tensions that the US was having with Iraq, Life for Relief and Development was under special, I would say, overzealous scrutiny. And it turns out that when we decided to represent Muthana against these charges, our first impression was that the indictment of Muthana was an effort to solicit him to work with the government against Life. You know, they were trying to get at Life somehow. They wanted to shut it down or do something. And Muthana refused all of the government's offers. He stated that Life is a great organization. He said, I'll not spy on them. I won't attempt to sabotage them. So do whatever you got to do. So the Department of Justice, they dug in on their indictment, accusing Muthana of acting as an agent of a foreign government without a license. And the Department of Justice said they had proof that the Iraqi intelligence agency had verbally offered Muthana a gift for his humanitarian efforts. And that because Muthana had verbally stated that he would accept their gift, it was as if he was acting as an agent of a foreign government without a license. Now, that I believe is true, that they did say they would give him a gift. He did say thank you, and I'll, accept it. But during the trial, our lawyers proved that no gifts were actually exchanged. And we proved that there were no sanctions violated. And the attorneys forced the government to drop the license charge and the violating sanctions charge. And by the end of the trial, the judge actually referred to Muthana as a humanitarian and not a criminal. So alhamdulillah. Again, MLFA is standing in the front lines of justice, where it matters the most, promises made, promises kept. Thanks for watching. Salam alaikum.